Alright, welcome back to the Valor Night, and this afternoon we are going to be going through, we're not going to start the Shadows of Mirkwood cycle just yet. Instead, we're going to be starting with the two-player limited edition starter set, which has two different quests that don't appear in the original starter set. The first one being the Oath. So, Side 1A, after the raid. Marauding goblins have raided a woodman village in the Eaves of Mirkwood forest. The goblins killed the guards and took many of the villagers captive. Those left behind beg you to rescue their loved ones. Setup. Search the encounter deck for a copy of the Eaves of Mirkwood and Goblin Troop. Add the Eaves of Mirkwood staging area. Set Goblin Troop aside out of play. Shuffle the encounter deck. The Goblin Troop is a 3/5/3/6 enemy, so pretty tough. 35 engagement cost, can't have attachments, and while it's engaged with you, each other goblin enemy engaged with you gets +1 attack and +1 defense. And the Eaves of Mirkwood says, while the Eaves of Mirkwood is the active location, encounter card effects cannot be cancelled. So if we're going to fulfill this oath, pursue these orcs, who are we going to take? And I have found a deck, I will put the link in the description, that uses cards just from the start this special two-player edition starter set. So we've got Leadership Aragorn, 2/3/2/5 Sentinel, Dunedain Noble Ranger. After Aragorn commits to a quest, spend a resource from his resource pool to ready him. Then we have Gildor and Glorian, 3/2/1/3, pay a resource from his pool to choose a player to draw a card. And then lastly we have Biffer, 2/1/2/3, pay a resource from a hero's resource pool to add a resource to Biffer's resource pool. Any player may trigger this ability. And so that is what we're going to take to fulfill the oath. 1B. You swear an oath to the survivors that you will rescue the captured woodmen and bring justice to the goblins who attack them. And you enter Mirkwood Forest to find their trail. Alright, turn number 1. So we're going to go ahead and give ourselves a resource. I'm not looking for anything in particular in the opening hand, except Steward. Steward is going to be, I think, our savior, so I think this will be the hand I go with. I'm going to go ahead and spin 1, 2, put in Steward, and tap in on Aragorn, give him 2 resources. And I'm tempted to play the Dwarven Sellsword, but I think we're going to save the resources. And if we have to do that for questing, we can do that for questing. So we're going to send everybody on the quest, then we're going to use Aragorn's ability to ready him. So that's 1, 2, +5, or +3 is 5, +2 is 7. So we're going to be sending 7 against 2. Our card is driven by Shadow. When revealed, each enemy in each location in this staging area gets +1 threat until the end of the phase. If there are no cards, it gains search. Well, there is, and it'll get +1. So that means we make 4 onto the quest. We're already pretty well halfway done, and we'll go ahead and travel there. This game is definitely easier solo, and this quest will be a nice break after Escape from Dol Guldur, which had me sweating just a little bit. This is a nice card, the Long Defeat. We attach to a quest card in play, limit 1 per quest. After it's defeated, each player draws 2 cards or heals 5 damage from among characters he controls. I think I'm going to go ahead and play that on this one, so when we beat this in a second, I can draw a few cards. Alright, we'll tap Steward for 2 more. And there's a bunch of things I could do. I could play the Silverlord Archer. I could play Galadriel. I'm going to save him. Save up for Sandford Sentry. After he enters play, draw a card for each enemy engaged with you. Just kind of classic ally. I think, though, I will play the Dwarven Sellsword. I have to pretty solid 2/2/2/3 ally at the end of the round. Discard Dwarven Sellsword unless the players as a group spend a leadership resource. So we're going to be doing that. With Steward on Aragorn, he should be able to do that just fine. But I think I'm going to pay the draw card. Let's see what we can get. Vain Voices. Not a terrible card. If I could have put the Silverlord Archer in, it would have worked better. But here we go. We're going to send the same amount of 7. And the card we draw is another Eves of Mirkwood. That's 5 progress, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Only 2 away, and we'll go ahead and travel there. So far the encounter deck has been very nice. This is not a particularly difficult quest. It's ranked as being even less difficult, or about as difficult as the passage through Mirkwood. So I don't expect this to take too long. We got Galadriel Minstrel, great card. Oh, I remember we got to spend 1 of these to keep him in. Tap Steward for an additional 2. Alright, I think I'm going to play the Galadriel Minstrel. So I get to search the top 5 cards of my deck for an event and add it to my hand. I think we're going to take, well, this is the only event, and it's a good one, Ancestral Knowledge. Which says, exhaust dwarf character, place 2 progress on the active location. But you know what? I could do with Biffer. So we're going to move resource and then pay for Ancestral Knowledge. We'll exhaust Biffer and place 2 progress on the active location. Go ahead and be clearing that out. Alright, for questing, we're going to send 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And our shadow card is Tangled Grove. Still no enemies, make me a little nervous. Exit the number of locations in the staging area, so 1. And each player must discard a card at random from his hand to travel here. So 1 against 5 is 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. More than enough to clear, and we will move on to stage 2. The Goblin Trail leads you deeper into the dark forest of Mirkwood. The enemy has a significant lead, but the sign of their passing is easy to follow. You may yet overtake them if you press on. When revealed, each player searches the encounter deck and discard a pile for a forest location adds to the staging area. Shuffle the encounter deck. This stage cannot be defeated unless at least 1 copy of Goblin Trail is in the victory display. Oh, and when I completed that part of the quest, this card, Long Defeat, triggered, and so we'll use it to draw 2 cards. Great. Kinemarth and Keldrin Stone. That's great. Alright. We should probably just go ahead and find the Goblin Trail. Just go ahead and get that part done. Though I could, I guess, wait to build up my board state a little bit. We won't do that. We're now in the travel phase, so I can pick where we want to travel. We'll travel here. We do have to reveal the top card of the encounter deck. Oh, and it's another Driven by Shadow, which doesn't do much. So that's very nice indeed. Alright, we will move on. Give Aragorn, or not going to give Aragorn a resource, so basically I'm going to spend it to keep the Dwarven Sellsword in play, but then when everybody gets a resource, he gets an additional 1. And we'll spend 2 for that. Alright, 2 of these are going to go to getting Keldrin Stone on Aragorn, so he can quest for a lot more. And then, I think we're going to save a turn or 2. Oh, Hinemarth would be so ingenious. Alright, let's get Hinemarth. We can exhaust Hinemarth River Song to look at the top card of the encounter deck, so I can know exactly what's coming. And what is coming is each player must search the encounter deck and discard pile for a goblin enemy and put it into play, then shuffle the encounter deck. That's really not terrible at all, really. So that will be a fine card. We'll go up against only 1. We do know we'll be doing some fighting. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. With Keldrin Stone, make it 8, 9, and then spend a resource. So 9 to 1, make quite a bit of progress. Alright, this comes out, and I know exactly the goblin enemy I want, and it's this guy. A 1/1/1/03. When revealed, discard the top card of the player's deck until the end of the phase. Increase Goblin Town Scavenger's threat by the total printing cost of all cards discarded this way, but that's not going to trigger because he's getting instantly engaged with us. So this gets discarded. 9 minus 1 is 8, and make 8, so that's 6 here. And when we leave play, as an explored location, we place 6 progress tokens on the current quest. So that's the 6. So we sent 7. or sorry, 8, 6. So that's an additional one too. So almost done there. And we'll go ahead and travel there just in case I have to discard a card from my hand. Well, I won't do it that way. We'll do it the slow way. Alright, that wasn't terrible. Card to discard. Alright, shadow card for our enemy is attacking for only 1, so I'll defend with the Dwarven Sellsword. No shadow effect, though that's actually a really nice card to get, so we'll unfortunately see that go. Attack back for 3, has no defense, so all 3 go. And say goodbye. We'll refresh, go into the next round. Won't give Aragorn his resource, it'll go pay for the Sellsword. And draw Haldir of Lorien. I guess I could send a resource, or send a resource Bifrost away. Start maybe in the next 2 turns getting Haldir. It's a great card to have. We're going to hit him Marth to see what we're up against. Doomed 1. Each player must choose either raise your threat by 1 for each questing character you control, or discard a questing character you control. Okay, well if we know we're only going to go up against 1, and we only need to make 3 progress, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to send Aragorn for 4. So we're going to send 4. This is the card we draw, Doomed 1, and +1. That puts, 4 to 0, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Nice easy turn, only raise our threat a little bit. Alright, refresh. Aragorn doesn't get a resource to pay for the Sellsword. 3 from Bifur. We got an Eldstone, which is a really good card. After attached location leaves play as an explored location, first player puts an ally into play from his hand. I won't do that. Instead, we'll give the resource to Bifur, and then spend 1, 2, 3, 4 on Haldir. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Yeah, I said the right amount of times. 2, 2, 2, 3 range sentinel. Haldir, who escaped Dol Guldur in our last adventure as the hero version of Haldir. This one is a great card as well, so there's that, and we'll go ahead and burn Steward. And to get another Sylvan, we will play the Silverlord Archer, who is ranged as well. So we'll be getting ready to take on those goblins. Alright, the card we're going to be up against is a Great Spider. After it engages you, you exhaust a character you control. Not too terrible. But do I want to clear this yet? I think the answer is no. So it's going to be 2. So we're going to send Bifur just for 2. So 2 to 2, so we don't make any progress this turn. And we will go ahead and engage this enemy. When we do, we have to exhaust the character. I will exhaust the Galadriel Minstrel, so it doesn't really do much. And bring down the Shadow card. I think Aragorn will defend it. It's attacking for 3. Aragorn will defend for 2. Choose an exhausted character you control. If this attack is undefended, deal 2 damage to that character. Alright, who attacks for the least here? They all attack for the same. So we'll just exhaust the Sellsword. And now it's the combat phase. So attack for 1. I think the game. Sometimes game slows down just a little bit. Yep, not what I want. Attack for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which is way more than enough to kill that spider. Just progressing so slowly. Spin the 1 to keep the Sellsword in. Tap the Steward. And why not pass a resource? I could, I guess, play Mablung, but it doesn't really seem to be too much of a reason to, and I don't have an attachment in my discard pile, or I would play the Hammersmith. After you play this, choose a non-unique enemy engaged with you. That enemy cannot attack you this round. Well, might need this guy to chump block, so we'll go ahead and play him. You know what, we'll play him, and we'll play the Hammersmith. So just building up a solid board state, which is just really good, just a ton of allies out, and we will hit them hard to know exactly what we're up against. We are up against the Tangled Grove, so not a huge deal at all, we can go ahead and progress this turn. That's only going to be for 1. And let's see how much progress we need to make. We need to make 3. So we need to send 4. So 1, 2. We'll send Aragorn with 3, 4. Actually, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sorry, with Calvary Stone. So 6, and the card we draw is this location for 1. That makes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 progress, and we move on to the final stage. When revealed, the first player adds the set-aside Goblin troop to the staging area. Each other player searches the encounter deck and discard pile for Goblin enemy and adds it to the staging area. If you're playing with 2 people, you got 2 coming in, but we just have the 1. And then we flip the rear guard. The goblins are aware of your pursuit and form a rear guard to confront you while the others retreat to the secret hideaway. You must defeat this troop before you can continue your chase. This stage cannot be defeated while Goblin troop is in play. While this stage is defeated, or when this stage is defeated, the heroes discover the trail to the Goblin's secret lair and the players win the game. Alright. We will go ahead and not travel, because we don't really need to. And we will go ahead and engage the Goblin troop. Counter card comes down, and we're going to be a little cheeky with Feigned Voices. We're going to return a Sylvan Ally to our hand, Minstrel. And so now they will not attack this turn. Yes, return a Sylvan Ally you control to your hand to choose an enemy, engage a player. That enemy cannot attack that player this phase. Well, so we feign the voices, so if you think of this thematically, the orcs turn around to try to confront us, and we sound like we're coming from the trees, and they get distracted, and then we can launch our attack. So we'll attack for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We only needed to do 9. That is more than enough to kill them, and we can move on to the next round. I did not want to travel, because that was me paying for this guy. I didn't want to travel because I didn't want to lose that card. I wanted to be able to just play this to kill them in that one turn. And for funsies, let's Mablung and let's Irith as well. Can't really do anything this turn, but we'll put both in. Mablung normally, after your nurse play, chooses an enemy to get +5 engagement cost, but we don't have that problem. Alright, Hinnemarth, show me what you got. Can we beat this phase? Spiders of Mirkwood. Once engaged with you, Spiders of Mirkwood get +1 attack for each exhausted character you control. That is crazy stupid. But we're going to be up against 4, and we need to make 6, so we need to send 10. Sending Aragorn for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Haldir for 10, 11. So we will draw the Spiders of Mirkwood. That is 4, send 11. So that is, I already just did the math, so I don't know why I'm having such trouble here. That's 7 progress. And 7 is just enough that we need to beat this. And that is the quest, The Oath. Very easy, very beginner level quest. As you can see, didn't have any damage on any of my heroes. And this is all cards out of the starter set. So this is all cards that came with this special 2-player edition starter set. Pretty solid win here over The Oath. The next quest is then let me pull out the actual quest cards, if it'll let me. Yes, the Caves of Nibbin Dun, which I've actually never played, so it'll be interesting to try this one out for the first time next time. But that is The Oath, and Aragorn, Gildor, and Bifur have found the hideout of the goblins, and we will go into that hideout in the next video.